Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Daily Events Worldwide, and we are on March 10th, 2025. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet. Welcome to the Daily Do, giving you your space weather update as well earthquakes, volcanoes, and world weather. Thank you so much for pressing play today. Always starting out here looking at the last 48 hours of imagery for amazing sun, brought to you by Solar Dynamics Observatory, mixed with daily events worldwide. Thank you for tuning in. No major solar flares or plasma filaments to report, nor CMEs. We did have a couple coronal mass ejections, but not Earth-directed. And as well, we've got minimal sunspots right now, 3 that are Earth-facing, but one of them is getting pretty big and a little complex. Looking at the last 48 hours outgoing, again, no major solar flares. Been hanging out in the B range all day long. The last 3 days going through the Earth-facing quiet, except for, of course, the coronal hole. Looking at the last 2 days of imagery here, pointing out the most active regions. Big plasma filaments swirling there, cresting into view. And as well, we had, of course, the coronal holes, one turning away, one that is Earth-facing right now. Solar winds are still up and over 500 kilometers per second. Looking at 171 angstroms here, this is where we can really see the magnetic fields of the sunspot regions in action. And as well with the last imagery showing the magnetic field of our sun during a coronal hole event, which is quite wild because we can get solar winds up and over 700 kilometers per second, double what they regularly are. Showing here sunspot regions in motion. Northern sunspot regions quickly forming, and a couple identical sunspot there. 4019, 4018, primed, ready to go. Stay aware and prepared. Have not seen a large solar flare in quite some time, it seems anyway. Current space weather conditions right now, there are none to report. Still going through minor geomagnetic event with solar winds over 508 kilometers per second. Showing here the last 7 days, this is during the coronal hole wind stream event, as we did have some pretty fast solar winds up and over 900 kilometers per second at one point right about here. Literally just a moment of some super fast solar winds. Showing here the solar winds and as well the pressure of our magnetosphere. Sunlit side on the left. And thank you so much for pressing play today. Thank you for your patience and loyalty to Daily Events Worldwide. Current solar X-ray flux is low, as I said, in the B range, hanging out in a strong B range. Nothing major since a moderate C-class solar flare 2 days ago. Proton flux slightly elevated today. Geomagnetic activity did hop up to a KP6 yesterday. Showing here the Space Weather Prediction Center, showing their space weather spiral. Bottom showing the radial velocity, which means the coronal hole wind stream, which we will be affected over the next couple days. Otherwise, that CME is going underneath Earth. Tonight's aurora view line versus tomorrow's. Not too much to look at, but still a slight likelihood for aurora. Showing here LASCO 3, wide spectrum of space weather leaving our sun. Cosmic energies the last 3 days. As the dew took a little bit of time off, and thank you so much for your patience. We all need a break now and then, and mine was much needed. Now let's have a look at earthquakes the past 24 hours, starting out here with a large 6.5 earthquake. Svalbard and Jan Mayen, right in between Iceland and the North Pole, followed by a 4.6 earthquake, and that's the largest earthquake that we've seen all week long. Notable activity here, Puerto Rico, 3.9, Isabella, Puerto Rico today. United States, across the North American plate. Yesterday there was a small swarm, Malibu, California, largest across North American soil being at 3.6. Menidero, Mexico, Cali border. Quiet all of a sudden through Alaska today after seeing a lot of minor seismicity piling up. Deep earthquakes here, Fiji, and as well notable earthquakes west of Macquarie Island, 4.7 and a 4.6. And look at all these deep earthquakes from eastern Indonesia right across to Fiji. Something is brewing across the Pacific plate and into the Philippines plate. Deepest earthquake being the 4.8, northern Japan. But way too quiet. Philippines right now. Heads up, stay aware and prepared. Notable earthquakes here, Iran, 4.7, and as well a 4.1 Qatar, 4.0 magnitude earthquake here, Turkey, and earthquakes have ceased at Greece. Notable activity here, South American plate, 4.7, Oval, Chile, and as well deep 258-kilometer depth earthquake, Peru. That's the last 24 hours. Now let's have a glance at the last 7 days for shakers and movers. Again, the largest being a 6.5 that struck Svalbard, the North Polar region in between Iceland and Greenland. Largest earthquake this week. And it's all of a sudden gone really quiet west Pacific plate just over the past 2 days. Sizable eruptions yet again at Kilauea. And as well as some major volcano eruptions. Eastern Russia, Kamchatka. Heads up, you live in an earthquake-prone zone, stay aware and prepared. Be ready and have a plan. So yeah, speaking of Eastern Russia, Kamchatka, some major eruptions have occurred. And as well through the Aleutian Islands, look at all these SO2 particulates funneling into our northern atmosphere. Notable eruptions, Kilauea, middle of the Pacific, Hawaii, and as well through Mexico, large eruption at Fuego, explosive, very large eruption there. But we've also seen some notable eruptions, Kamchatka, Eastern Russia, towards the Shevelich volcano and Kluchevskoy. Notable eruptions here too, very active planet for volcanoes right now. I think we're going to need a volcanic activity report really soon here. Notable SO2 plumes still swirling around in the southern hemisphere as well from eruptions at the Michael volcano at South Sandwich Islands. You can see that here, South Sandwich Islands, that one region, through the subduction zone. South Sandwich Islands. Michael volcano has been erupting all week long. Notable eruption yet again, Central Africa. And as well, most of the northern hemisphere being inundated right now by sulfur dioxide emissions, large volcanic eruptions. Now let's have a look at world weather, brought to you by windy.com. Strong system roaring into California over the next 36 hours. It will race across Texas and most likely smash into a high-pressure ridge. And then another system moves in, bringing some extreme weather across eastern regions of the United States and into Canada. Watch for more snow across Canada and as well through this northwest Pacific low. Long-range forecast, a lot of moisture coming into the BC coast. Higher elevations will still be seeing a lot of snow over the next little while. Winter is not quite over yet, although it did smell and sound like spring today. Beautiful, warm temperatures through Ontario today. Strong system here moving through the North Pacific will be affecting the Aleutian Islands and eventually into Alaska and BC for the long range. Strong system there affecting Japan. All these systems racing out of China. Watch for a lot of moisture towards BC, Washington, and Oregon. And as well, some severe weather brewing for the Hawaiian Island. overlooking Africa, Southeast Asia. We've got a cyclone on board for parts of Mozambique. Watch for this thing to go inland, back outland, and then race across the southern tip of Madagascar. Boy, oh boy. Lots of cyclones have been forecast and raced across Madagascar and southern parts of Africa this week. Now let's have a look at our upper level winds depicting our northern polar vortex. This is our polar vortex right now, some very strong and defined winds, and it has completely split between our magnetic north and our true north as our planet is getting ready for the summer months. Watch for everything to flip-flop over the next month as I will be showing you the upper level winds last year versus right now, 2025. Quite a big difference. Very strong upper level winds. We've been inundated by coronal hole wind streams in which the solar winds were smashing our planet over 700 kilometers per second. Last year versus this year. North Pole region versus the South Pole. Stay tuned as this is all about to flip-flop over the next 6 weeks. Much love. Hope you enjoyed the show today. If you did, please don't forget to give a thumbs up, like, comment down below, and share. Stay aware and prepared, stay young and have fun, and get your daily due.